Good morning, and thank you for tuning into another installment on This Day with Christy. Howdy. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2026. We're going to, this being Friday, we're going to recap what we talked about on Wednesday. Sorry about Monday's show. Things got flubbled up a little bit. Anyhow. So, we're going to recap Wednesday and then move on to today. So, let's hop in our magic van, throw in some tunes, and go for a ride. On Monday in music history, in 1989, the Moscow Music Peace Festival began in Russia's Lenin Stadium. Among the performers were Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Bon Jovi, Skid Row, and the Scorpions. In 1986, Prince played his first UK concert at London's Wembley Arena. The 3-night residency marked the first stop on the artist's European parade tour. In 1968, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham played together for the first time during a rehearsal at a studio in London's West End. Within a month, they would start using the band name Led Zeppelin. In 2009, guitarist Les Paul, born Lester William Polyphus, died at the age of 94. The musician not only helped create one of the first solid body electric guitars, the Gibson Les Paul, which went on sale in 1952, but he was also the innovator behind the console, credited with the development of multi-track recording and overdubbing. In 1984, Lionel Richie closed out the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles with a show-stopping 9-minute performance of his hit All Night Long. Excuse me. In 2012, meanwhile, a cross-generational lineup of British stars performed at the London Olympics closing ceremony. The 3-hour concert included sets by Brian May and Roger Taylor of Queen, the Spice Girls, George Michael, Take That, One Direction, The Who, the Pet Shop Boys, Liam Gallagher, and Ray Davies, among others. Now we're going to hop back into our van and go over to Factoid Town on Monday. On Wednesday, it was World Elephant Day and Middle Child Day. In 2019, thousands of anti-government protesters disrupted Hong Kong's international airport. In 2017, the Unite the Right gathering in Charlottesville, Virginia, became violent after a car smashed into protesters. 1 person died in the attack and 19 more were injured. In 2015, former President Jimmy Carter had a lesion removed from his liver. He also announced that his cancer had spread to his brain. Also that year, a mass grave of 42 victims of the bubonic plague was found at Liverpool Street Station in London, England. In 1981, the IBM personal computer was released. In 1964, South Africa was banned from the Olympic Games due to the country's racist policies. And we push our time machine or time band all the way back to 1877. Thomas Edison completed his first model of a phonograph. The phonograph was the first device to record sound, which was the birth of recording devices. Now, it's time to get to Friday. On August 14, 1971, The Who released their 5th studio album, Who's Next? Considered by many critics to be their best record and one of the greatest rock albums of all time, featuring songs that were initially intended for Lifehouse, an unreleased rock opera and follow-up of the band's 1969 album, Tommy. The LP included such hits as Behind Blue Eyes and Won't Get Fooled Again, in addition to appearing on countless best-of lists over the decades. The album was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2007. In 1965, Sonny and Cher's I Got You Babe began its 3-week run at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Rumor has it that Sonny Bono was inspired by the popularity of the term babe following the release of Bob Dylan's It Ain't Me, Babe. Well, that was depressing. Sorry. Weird mood. Let's see. 1993, less than 2 years after his death, Freddie Mercury scored his first solo #1 hit with a remix of his 1985 single, Living on My Own. In 1985, Michael Jackson won a bid over Paul McCartney and Yoko Ono to own ATV Music's publishing catalog, which boasted the rights to more than 4,000 songs, roughly 250 of which were Beatles compositions penned by Lennon and McCartney. And lastly, in 1976, UK indie label Stiff Records which would be at the forefront of the punk and new wave scenes, dropped their very first release, a 7-inch single of Nick Lowe's So It Goes. Now, it's time to hop back in the van and go over to Factoid Town to find some facts. Today is Tattoo Removal Day and Creamsicle Day. Creamsicles are nasty. They taste weird. Got a weird texture. I have issues. In 2019, a rainfall survey named It Is Raining Plastic announced that tiny plastic particles were found in 90% of rain samples in Colorado, U.S. In 2017, mudslides and flooding in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, claimed the lives of 1,141 people and left 3,000 without homes. In 2015, has to readjust. In 2015, the world's most amazing face transplant took place. On this day, Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez performed a 26-hour transplant on his patient, Patrick Hardison. Hardison was a firefighter who received third-degree burns on his head, upper torso, and neck when the roof of a burning building collapsed on him. In 2003, a major blackout occurred in the northeastern and midwestern U.S., along with Ontario, Canada. The cause, which affected around 10 million people, was due to a software bug in the alarm systems at First Energy. In 1979, a rainbow lasting 3 hours was recorded over Gwynedd Coast in Wales. It was the longest lasting rainbow in meteorological history at the time. In 1935, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act, creating a government pension system for the retired. And lastly, in 1880, after being in construction for 632 years, the Cologne Cathedral was completed. Construction of the largest cathedral in Europe began in 1248. It became the biggest cathedral in Europe. The cathedral became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996 and is still the largest Gothic church in Northern Europe. Now, it's time to hop back in our van and put on our thinking caps because it's time for trivia. First question. Who plays Daemon Targaryen on House of the Dragon? Answer, Matt Smith. Who was the first woman to portray the Doctor on Doctor Who? Answer, Jodie Whittaker. Which world-famous pop star has an album titled Oral Fixation Volume 2? Answer, Shakira. And we're going to go for our bonus question. Come on, wheel, stop spinning. Okay, bonus question. What is Baby Yoda's real name? Grogu. That's cute. Now it's time to throw up our thinking caps and put on our party hats, because it's time for birthdays. In 1941, David Crosby. 1951, Slim Dunlap. 1961, Sarah Brightman. 1964, Keith Howland. 1966, Tanya Donnelly. 1974, Anna Medtronic. And 1977, Ed Harcourt. If it was your birthday today or your birthday's coming up this weekend, have a great birthday and I hope you make it awesome. You can catch us here 7 days a week with Brian the Rock Stone on WCDI. And don't forget to check out Top Rope Report every Sunday and Wednesday. Have a good weekend, y'all. Ciao.